Trilly on my soul. I'm the most selfish person that I know. Here we go, down the rabbit hole. Got a couple carrots around my neck. Self-respect, when you out of line, you put your...
And we're live. Welcome back to Mezcla and Moguls. It's your boy, the one with the Scar's face, your boy Scarface. And welcome back to another episode. This is a very special episode, so I'm excited to you. First of all, thank you guys to everyone that supports the channel, supports your boy. Went out to the meet and greet out in Huntington Beach. Fucking said it wrong. Glad I got to meet a lot of you Sucias. I will be going to California back again, so, stay tuned for that. But this is a special episode I wanted to do just because I went over there. I asked Jacky a lot of these popular questions that you guys asked me, and we had her answer them, okay? So this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to cut to the Jacky episode here in a little bit. But in the meantime, before I do that, thank you guys for supporting the channel, like the TikTok, the podcast, and all that stuff. So if you guys want to help out a little bit more, as you can see on here, I have the Sleeping Goku right here. We do sell these pins. We have a bunch of different pins. Prolific is the name of the company. Link in the bio. Go and check those out. Shout out to everyone who keeps donating every month. I really do appreciate. It helps with the podcast, helps motivate me to create different types of things for you guys as well, like enhance, like getting better equipment and so on and so forth, just so you guys can have the best experience possible. So make sure you guys go check out all that stuff. And now let's get into the episode with Jacky and see how she answers some of these questions that you guys always ask me about. All right, so what are your thoughts on a high-value man being able to cheat?
I honestly feel like he should be able to do whatever he wants. He's bringing home the money. What do I have to complain about if I'm being taken care of? He should be able to do whatever he wants, as long as I don't know about it.
Do you think relationships should be 50-50?
Yes, I do.
What?
I think that men and women need to work together, and men just can't seem to do it on their own in these times anymore. Like, we should be their helper.
Perfect. All right, now we're gonna get to the. They're gonna be like, Jacky,
did I nail it?
Yeah. It's funny because
I couldn't even take myself serious right now. I was like, bitch.
It's funny because they're gonna be like, what's going on here?
And I'm like, what the fuck? This bitch has lost her mind.
With Edgar and like,
this bitch has lost her mind.
All right, so the first question that we have is, how can a girl get out of a toxic relationship?
How can a girl get out of a toxic relationship? I feel like this is such a common question on all my platforms. A lot of girls want a magic answer, or like some magic pill, like I'm gonna give you this ibuprofen and tomorrow you're out. And it really doesn't work that way. You don't just exit a toxic relationship. You know how they say that women tend to start to go through their process while still in the relationship? That's very much true. And I think that everybody has a different level of what they can tolerate and when they start to mentally check out of the relationship. So there's no one correct answer to leaving a toxic relationship. I don't feel like what I did for myself is something that may be what you need to do for you to exit. I think the best and most blanket answer I could give you is just start to pour into yourself. That's it. Because that's the very beginning of you starting to realize, like, oh damn, maybe I do deserve a little better. And when you start to pour into yourself, you start to kind of find your glow again, because when you're in a toxic relationship, you kind of lose all of that. You kind of look tired, dead, just no life, essentially. And when you start to pour into yourself, you start to kind of see your color come back and like a little bit of you come back. And I think when you start to see a little bit of you come back is when you'll be able to start to recognize that maybe this isn't something that I should be in, I think. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts?
I think it's just getting help. Like, knowing that people are there to help. Mm-hmm. Just because a lot of the times, especially, so like, I know there's one girl, she went through a whole toxic relationship. She was getting beat, she was getting like all sorts of stuff, but she thought it was too embarrassing or too like that nobody was going to help her. Mm-hmm. But there's plenty of people that will help you out here. Like, you just have to say something and not be so embarrassed that, oh, they're going to judge me. No, they're going to be like, let me help you get out of that. Like, yeah. talk to this, let's put you here. There's plenty of people who will help you. If you don't have family or friends that will help you, there's different like programs you can get into, different people that you have to talk to, like you can talk to, that will help you get out of this. Because that's, as soon as she realized that she said it just like this: love shouldn't hurt. And so after that, when she realized that, she got out. Like some of the videos that she sent me of the guy just yelling at her, throwing stuff, breaking stuff, like
That's so
bruises
sad.
all over her face. Like that's not how a relationship should be.
Can we talk about that for a second
Yeah.
too? Like the shame associated with the fact that you have been accepting all of this treatment and the embarrassment that you feel. It's embarrassing. You feel humiliated. You feel like your self-esteem is at an all-time low. I think that was like one of the main debilitating feelings that I had when I discovered the betrayal and the affair, because I felt so small. I felt humiliated. I felt embarrassed. Like, how could I let this happen? How could my life be this? How could somebody do this to me? You know, like, how was I so invaluable? Like, you just feel all these feelings of shame and guilt that are not even yours to carry. But because somebody isn't loving you, you feel so small and you feel ashamed. So I definitely understand.
Yeah, that's why I remember you talked about when you would put on a front that everything was okay when it really wasn't. So get out of your toxic relationship.
Oh my God. Today.
All right. So do you think people really need closure when they feel like they haven't gotten it from their partner?
No. I don't think that you need closure. I think that that's an ego thing. I think your ego wants an answer. Your ego wants to know why, who, what, when, where, how, just to feed your ego. But do you really need that closure? The closure is the action. The closure is what they did. Whatever the case may be, whatever they did to you, for you to start to realize that you need to exit whatever relationship you're in, that is your closure. What final words do you need from somebody? What final conversation do you need to have? The final conversation was the final action.
And it might make it, you probably will leave worse than what you...
Or you might circle back.
Exactly.
You might circle back and put yourself in that same toxic cycle. You might end up going back to something that you knew you should have left, all because you went to look for closure. And let's be real, a lot of these people, because they don't know any better and because they thrive off these toxic cycles, they end up meeting up with the person, and then what happens? We're all grown here. What do they end up doing? More than likely, they end up hooking up.
Exactly.
And then you get those feelings, and then what? Then you end up cuddling. And then what? And then you leave, and then you leave with more questions than you got answers.
Yeah.
For what? You don't need closure. It's an ego. Your ego wants to hear them apologize. Your ego wants to hear the why. Your ego wants for them to say that it was their fault, not yours, or whatever. It's your ego.
Yeah.
You don't need any closure.
Exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Next question we have here are: what are some things that you look for in a guy that tells you or lets you know that he's definitely interested in you?
Like signs that show me that he has interest in me?
Yeah. Because a lot of these guys, they can say, "Oh, hey."
Oh yeah, like talk a big game, all this bullshit.
Yeah, but then I'm sure you have your things. Oh, like I think he actually might be into me.
I think a huge sign for me, and I think maybe you can agree with me, is when a man is actually pursuing you. Because I feel like men, when they really want something, they're going to get it. Like they're going to continue to try to get it. And I feel like that's a big sign for me that if you're pursuing me, not love bombing me, because there's a huge difference, pursuing me, that you're actively trying to know me, that you're actively trying to see what I like, spend time with me, but not too much time, because I think it's also unhealthy. Like you have to have your own life still. Like we're just getting to know each other. So somebody that has a great boundary in terms of their time, but also showing interest in wanting to spend time with me, wanting to try new things with me, making an effort when I say, let's say I tell you I like mariscos, and you make it a point to find the best marisco spot in LA County. And then you're like, oh, I looked it up. This place had 20,000 reviews, so I had to bring you here since you love mariscos. Effort.
Yeah, little things like that.
Yeah. I think that would be it for me.
Yeah, and I would agree because, again, a lot of these guys, they can tell you whatever that you want to hear, you know, but are they doing it?
Speaking of that, I actually recently went on a date, and this is something that I pointed out because I talked about it on my TikTok on live, is that when we were talking in conversation prior to the date, he asked me what my favorite flowers were and what my favorite color was. And I was like, oh, I love any type of flowers, anything. Like, I love flowers now. And he was like, yeah, I'm a flowers guy. I'm like that guy, etc. Right? So the date comes and there's no flowers. So then that already to me is like, you just wanted to impress me with words, but I never just listen to your words. Your words have to align with your actions. And so you're right. A lot of guys do come out here and say, I'm this guy, I'm that. I want to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. Do you like this? Do you like that? But you have to watch their actions, because do their actions really align with their words?
Yeah.
And no.
Yeah, their actions will clearly tell you how they feel.
Exactly.
All right. So next question we have: if a married man hits on you or asks you out, should you tell their partner?
I'm snitching. In literally 2.5 seconds, I'm telling. And I'll figure it out. I'm going to tell on you. If I can figure out how to tell on you, like if I can, depends on where I was approached. You know, if I was approached at the gym by some married guy with a ring, I don't know who his wife is, you know? Like that's two worlds apart. But I have been known to, like, if there's a guy that like likes a picture or something, or you know how on your stories you can subtly like, nobody sees that?
Yeah.
If I see that you got a family in your picture, you better be careful, because I'm gonna tell. And I don't play that. Like, I'm not okay with a woman being laughed at behind her back, because I was laughed at behind my back. And I don't entertain that, and I don't think it's appropriate. I think if you're a married man, you should only have eyes for your wife. And there should be no reason why you're following me, keeping up with me. And I'm also quick to block anybody like that, which I shouldn't have to do to protect somebody else. But at the end of the day, it disgusts me. It irritates me. I don't want that energy at all. So if I catch it and I can tell your wife, I'm going to tell her.
Yeah, because I had a conversation with this one girl. She wanted to, I guess, the guy was trying to like approach her, but in person, and she's like, should I tell her wife? And I was like, I don't think so, unless you have like some sort of proof, because he can easily say, oh, like, she don't know what she's talking about. It's probably because like she's jealous or something like that. So would you
Which makes
say,
sense.
Would you say, like, if you can prove it, yes? If not, just leave it alone? Because
I'm just gonna tell.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care what her reaction is. I don't care if she's gonna block me, call me crazy, whatever. I'm gonna tell her, because I have nothing to lose, you know?
Yeah.
So what am I gonna lose? Your husband? Like, I don't want your husband. Disgusting. Because what is he gonna, if he's doing it to you, he's gonna do it to me. I'm good. So I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna tell, just to tell. And if the girl has a problem with it, or she says that I don't have proof or whatever, I'm like, look, girl, I'm telling you what it is. You could do whatever you want with the information. That's it. Because the last thing I want is for anybody to feel, again, the humiliation that I felt. Because if he's doing this to me, maybe that'll prompt her to look at his phone. You know? Maybe that'll prompt her to be like, maybe that one time that he said he was doing X, Y, and Z, maybe it's not adding up. And to look into things, because it'll spark something, you know, it'll plant the seed.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. So the next question is, do girls have rosters or options? That's a yes by the smile.
Yes. Now, I feel like this can get very finicky, because I feel like, what does that mean, right? So I feel like for the younger generation and for people who are very much in situationship type of life, have rosters in a different way than what I would say I have a roster at. You know what I mean? For me, I'm dating not exclusively. I'm dating multiple people, because I'm getting to know multiple people, and I'm very clear about that. Like, hey, you're fucking in the running, but you're not the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in the running and there's other people in the running. And I'm honest about it because I never want to lie about that. I feel like in the past, I have been closed off to exclusivity in the dating phase, and most people don't deserve exclusivity in the dating phase. And also most people don't know how to be honest about not having exclusivity in the dating phase. So I'm very straight up now, like, hey, like, I'm dating openly. You can take that as you wish. If you want to date me, cool. If you don't. I need to have the opportunity to have options to see who deserves my full commitment, because I feel like you don't get to see people's true colors
right away
for a month, 2 months, 3 months. It takes 3 to 6 months to kind of see what somebody's real intention is and to see what somebody is really about. So my definition of having a roster is that I'm getting to know you. I'm not sleeping with anybody. I feel like that's so sacred, and I feel like your body's such a temple, and I would be so terrified of, like, you know how they say, like, demons attach themselves to you and all this stuff. Like, I don't want nobody's demons. Like, I'm good. I'm okay. There's a rose for that, you know, like, I'm good. So it's not that I'm sleeping with multiple people. It's just that I'm trying to see if you are who you say you are. And if you aren't, then there's no reason for me to have been committed to you for 6 months and have lost 6 months of time that I could have gotten to know somebody else.
Yeah.
Or that somebody came in the picture. Now, where I feel it's finicky is in this world of situationships and lying to each other, and you're sleeping with him and he's sleeping with her and she's also sleeping with X, Y, and Z, and, like, all these people are just, like, intertwined, and it's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
That's where it's a problem. So I feel like women and men have rosters. I just feel like it means different things for people, and people don't know how to be clear about that, especially if you're, like, younger. Luckily for me, I'm 34, so I'm in a little bit more of a safer zone.
Yeah, see, and I completely agree with you. Can I help you put your hair over?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just heard a little bit of hair. But I agree with you just because I remember my rosters, like, when I was a lot younger, that was different. There was, like, and it's true, there was the girl that you really want. You'll do anything for. And then the other ones, there's a couple runner-ups that, you know what, hey, like, just in case that one doesn't work out, you know, I have these two. And then there's the girl that's always down to do everything. Like, you hit her up, she's like, yeah, let's go. And then there's the 3 a.m., hey, you up type of girl. But that was, like, before.
The situationship life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's, like, completely different. Now it's just, because I always say that too, is just, like, you don't just date one person, or, like, the next person that comes into your life. Because how do you know? You know, like, date a few people, see which one you vibe with more. If you didn't really vibe with it, go date them again. If you don't get that feeling, find somebody else. You know, like, stop. A lot of people will try to romanticize the first person that talks to them, and then all of a sudden, like, if it falls apart, it feels like a breakup. And
girls especially struggle with romanticizing because we end up planning our whole future with somebody that we just met based on guilty too, you know, based on our first couple interactions with them, instead of actually seeing who they actually are.
Yeah.
And seeing, again, if their words align with their actions. We end up romanticizing, and then now we've had this whole fairy tale that isn't even real, and we want to make it real so bad, and then it's hard for us to let that attachment go. So definitely I feel like women do that. Now let me ask you something. Let me put you in the hot seat.
Okay.
But is it true that men have placeholders? Would you say that that's true, like a placeholder?
Yes, I think that's true, because there's a lot of guys who don't know how to be on their own, because they just want somebody there. But the moment they find somebody that they actually want to be with,
placeholder
gone. Or they'll keep the placeholder because they're still hooking up with them and have a whole other relationship
while they're trying to pursue that.
Yeah. Because you've seen it there. I get the questions all the time, like, why does this guy, like, have a girlfriend but then always want to come back and hook up with me? And I'm like, because you keep giving it up. Because you allow him. Yeah. The more you allow him to come back, the more he's gonna come back. He can be with this other girl. He can get married with her. If you let him keep coming back, he's gonna keep coming back. And so yes, I do believe that there is placeholders. And it sucks because sometimes you can't tell. You can't tell because you don't know the true intention of the guy. Like, because everything is going great, but in reality, like, he's not really into her. And so the moment the girl he's into, he'll be like, we're done here, I'm going over here. That's why like sometimes these guys ghost, they just drop you like for no reason. And I think that's why like sometimes some girls want some sort of closure because of that, because they don't know what his real intentions were. Because I've done it too before. It sucks, but you know, I was young.
Idiot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, fuck you.
You talk to this girl just because the one that you actually want is not giving you the time of day right now. But then the moment she starts giving you more time of day, or you find a different girl that I'm like, dang, I really like this girl. You drop this one and you go over here. And so that's why I'm like, that's where ghosting happens. Because I'm not going to tell you, hey,
obviously,
I like this girl more, so, you know, this ain't going to work. You know, or I'm not going to tell you, hey, like, I'm talking to her too. I'm hooking up with her. I'm still going to hook up with you as long as you let me. Like, it's, you know.
Well, then.
Yeah.
Now you could be more.
Yeah. Now it's open communication, open, like.
It's like, hey, I'm dating openly.
Yeah, and see, like, right.
I'm not committed to anyone, etc.
Yeah, and people ask me if, like, I'm dating, and I just say, like, I don't really put myself in, like, a position to date, meaning like I'm always busy, I'm always out doing something. It's not like I'm out here like, hey, I'm single, who trying to go out on dates, you know?
And even then I feel like a guy has to pursue. So if you're not pursuing, then so obviously you're not going to date. I mean, obviously well, you know what, I'm lying, because we live in a different time where I feel like girls pursue guys. But yeah, so maybe you would have the opportunity if you opened up, but I feel like in a better world, it would be you pursuing.
Yeah, and I always say this just so it doesn't feel like, because sometimes I want like to know that the girl is into me too. You know what I mean? Because like, so I always say, yes, the guy is supposed to be pursuing. Yes, the guy is supposed to be putting in more of the effort. But like, to me, like if I feel like a girl's not putting in any effort, I'm just like, all right, I'm out. She's not interested, you know, like, and then I just check out. I don't know. Was she into me? I don't know, but she wasn't showing any.
I think a girl that's into you is going to reciprocate the energy.
Yeah.
I think she's not necessarily reciprocated in the way that she's pursuing you, but I think she's definitely going to be like, you know, like hug you differently, or like massage your hand, or just show you interest in another way, or like, hey, how's your day going? Like here and there, like a little check-in. I feel like girls can definitely reciprocate energy if they're interested. But I think it definitely is your job to pursue.
Oh, absolutely. Guys should be.
So if you're not in the position to pursue, well, obviously then you're not dating. Unless it's girls pursuing you, then I don't know. I feel like that's kind of emasculating. But for some men, I guess. Yeah, some men like it.
I like to pursue. I like the chase. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So can you be friends with your ex?
I actually am friends with my ex. I have an ex, and we are friends, and we are cool. And I think it took some time to kind of separate the feelings, because at first it was very murky water, you know. But over time, we were able to make it very clear, like, hey, we're just friends. Like, this is never going to be what it ever was again, and we're just friends. Now, if I were to get into a relationship with somebody, I wouldn't be able to talk to them because it just wouldn't be respectful. Like, this is somebody that I was with intimately, like, obviously, and I think we both understand that. But I think it's definitely like a really hard place, you know, because there's some people that you have a lot of love for that you're like, damn. You know, like I would still want to be your friend, but at the same time, it's like when you decide to move on, you really can't have that friendship. So I guess while I'm single, it's okay to have the friendship. And it's not like interrupting anything that I'm doing in my personal life. But I guess at the second that I decide to take somebody serious, I would have to say we can't be friends. But I get why because it's obvious, like at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, you're going to end up not being friends. Yeah. Because you're going to end up getting in a relationship with somebody else. So I know you're the second that you break up or something, it's block. We're never having communication again. And I get that too. Because at the end of the day, you end up in that same spot. Yeah, not having
or you should be in that same spot because that was actually my next question to you too, is that can your partner be friends with their ex? But, so that you basically answered it there saying like, if you're single, you can do like, obviously you can do
be friends with whoever you want.
But as soon as you get into a relationship, you have to be respectful of your partner, you know, because I wouldn't want no girl.
No.
And co-parenting is a whole different situation. You know, I understand that, but like there's also boundaries to that, you know. Cause
even then, I feel like in co-parenting, there's no reason for you guys to do shit together.
Exactly. Like there's some people
it just
like
doesn't make sense to me.
Go on vacations together, go on like stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, no.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, you're not a family.
You guys, as soon as you guys broke up, that ended.
You guys are not a family, so why are you guys doing family things if you guys are not a family?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. In co-parenting, I feel like if you guys were supposed to be a family, then you guys would be a family, but you're not. So you guys parent the kids separately. The only reason to communicate is, hey, there's a school fundraiser. If you're gonna go, it's at this time. Whatever.
Exactly.
Hey, did you sign the field trip permission slip? Hey, what do you think about this program that they're doing at the school? Do you want to put the kids in it? Like, that's the only thing that you guys need to talk about. What else would you guys need to talk about?
Yeah.
Like, why do I need to tell you a joke to make you laugh? Like, the fuck?
Or asking how your day is going. Like,
yeah, like, how are the kids doing? Don't worry about it. Like, they're good. They're with me. They're fine.
Yeah.
When you get them back, you can ask them how their time was. Like, what do we have to talk about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is a little bit more spicier. This is actually a popular one that keeps getting asked. So
run it.
What's a good size of the eggplant?
Oh shit!
To you, what's
I'm like, I got hot right now. Okay. I would say I'm like looking at the water bottle. I'm like, it's kind of too girthy. I'm like, I'm nervous now. I would say, I guess it just depends for all girls, right? Because I actually just learned this thanks to the school of TikTok.
Yes.
That every girl's privacy feels different, and I had no idea that every girl's like cave is different.
Okay,
like the actual inside is different.
Oh, really?
You didn't learn?
I mean, I didn't know they were different, but I just know they feel good. Like,
yeah, but they've never felt different to you. Like different girls felt different, or different temperature, different
wetness and everything.
Different.
Okay, I agree then.
Different ridges, I guess you could say, or it feels different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, don't tell me school of TikTok failed me because I'm about to get mad.
No, now that I think about it more, yes.
Yeah, because I saw on TikTok that it was like this doctor, this gynecologist, she talks about like how we have different caves on the inside. Like some of them are wider, some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. Like on the inside, like through x-rays, they showed like different insides, not the outside, the inside. So I guess, you know how they say, like, I don't know if I could say this on your podcast, but I'm like, when they say a girl could take a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that means that they could really take one, you know, like the girl Lena.
Yeah.
The girl that just did the whole 22? Yes, she could really take one, you know what I mean? I feel like if I were to try to do that, I would die. Like, I don't even think I would try. Like, I'm like, no, like this is not gonna work. Like, I'm gonna die.
I'm good.
I'm good. Like, no, thank you. So I feel like for me, I think just whatever somebody would assume an average size would be. So like whatever they say average is, like maybe like girth. I don't know, like this. I'm like trying to remember. I'm like, when's the last time I grabbed one? And probably like, I don't know, like 6 inches, I guess.
Yeah, that was actually pretty.
That's average, right?
5 to 6 is what.
Yeah, 5 to 6 average, and a good girth, not too fucking huge, and I guess, really hard.
I feel bad for the micro P guys.
Oh my god, dude! I did a whole series on TikTok about that.
Yeah.
Like, and I was appalled at the amount of stories of girls that have actually experienced that. Never in my life, ay Diosito Santo, please, never. I never want to experience that, but there's legit girls that have told me like that in their literal experience, like it's real.
Yeah.
It's real, like tiny little things, or like guys who've even not even made it in that have like came like in the foreplay stage or in like on their thigh. And I'm just like, this can't, like, you guys are lying. Like, I know you guys are lying. And girls are like, no, girl, this is real.
Yeah.
Like, and there's girls that have even told me that they've been in like relationships with guys that had really, really tiny ones. And they were like, was already in the relationship. I'm like, how could you stay? Like, I don't get it. And they're like, it's real. Like, there's girls that have sent me pictures. Yes. And it's real.
I didn't think it was a real thing either until there's this girl that I knew talked about a guy that I knew, and she basically snitched on him saying that he had one. And I was like, no way. I was like, no. And she's like, yeah, he would finish, but I never felt a thing.
And the most unexpected people too. I had a friend who told me that he had a girl roommate, and I guess she hooked up with like the biggest guy on the college football team, like this huge Samoan dude, right? And the guys couldn't wait for her to get home for her to tell the story, because they knew that she would like hook up with all types of guys. So they're like waiting for her to get home to tell the story. And she said that it was the smallest thing she had ever done in her life. So the most unexpected of people, it's like you can literally not judge a book by its cover, because you don't know what's in there. And he said that he was shook. Like, what?
So that goes on to the next questions. Should you test drive the car before getting into a serious relationship?
Man, I feel like this is so hard.
Because you run the risk, especially the people who wait to get married.
Yes.
Imagine like you wait to get married and all of a sudden you're like, the fuck?
I feel like this is such a hard question for me, because I'm always in this like spiritual warfare. Like, I'm always in this battle of like trying to do the exemplary correct thing, but also my very human side, you know? But I feel like I would need to test drive it for sure to know how you do it, if it's good. Like, I'm a little too old to be like trying to teach somebody.
Or we'll see how it goes.
Or yeah, and like also too, I feel like I need to like feel it outside of your pants to see what it feels like, you know, and see kind of what you got going on there, because I've just heard too many stories of like it being too soft, or it going soft, or it not being like a good size. Like, I have so many girlfriends, obviously, you know, we're always doing girl talk and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm terrified, low key. I'm really scared. So I think I would need to.
Yeah, and it sucks for the guys too, just because at the end of the day, it's not like they chose. You know what I mean? Like,
well, obviously we don't choose, you know, like if I have a big ass head, well, bitch, like the fuck, like if I was born this way, you know, I have a big ass head. Like, what do you want me to say? You know, I have big ass ears. Like, that's not my fault. Like, I came out of the womb like that. Like, I wasn't like, hey God, you know, give me the designer head. Like, what the hell? But it does suck, I guess. But even for a girl too, like, she could have small boobs, she could have no boobs, she could have, I don't know, a third nipple, I don't know, like, or she may be awkward in bed, you know, and like, I don't know. I feel like it goes both ways.
Boobs and butt can be fixed.
True. I'm like, true. Yeah, that's true. But regardless, like, also too, like the comfortability, there's girls that just want to leave the lights off. Yeah. You know? And some guy may be like, it's not my vibe, you know, or like, she's too prude, like she just wants to lay down. But then some guys only like girls that lay down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess you gotta find your right person.
It's hard out here. So I've never ran into this issue, but I guess it's a big issue, especially for males, is would you ever date somebody who's shorter than you?
No.
And that's actually very common. And like I said, I'm 5'11", so I've never ran across somebody or dated somebody that was shorter than me. And I didn't realize it was a problem until like some girl clearly told me the reason she left. He's cool, he's nice and everything, good looking guy, but he's short. Yeah. And so why is that? I don't want to feel like the guy. That's just the truth. And I'm not, even for myself, I'm only 5'3". I mean, you saw me, whatever. I'm only 5'3", so I'm not that tall. And if I don't want to feel like a guy. Like, I want to feel like safe. I want to feel like my man's bigger than me. Like, he can grab me, hug me, pick me up. Like, I don't want to pick you up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the smaller you are, probably the less you weigh. Like, I could probably squat you on my back. Like, what? Like, I'm gonna throw you around like a rag doll, you know? Or like, I don't want to lay in bed and my leg like extend longer than yours, you know? Like, I just don't. Like, I don't know. I want to feel like I'm with a man, you know? Like, especially me, because I'm grown, you know? Like, it's funny that you say that, because one time I did hook up with a guy that was shorter than me. And tell me why. Oh my God, you're gonna die. I can't believe I'm even sharing this story. One time I hooked up with a guy that was short, like super short, and I didn't realize how short he was. I was a little tipsy, right? And I had met with him one time to like go eat, I think. It was a while ago. And I met up with him to go eat, and tell me why he walked me to my car, and he stayed on the curb to give me a hug goodbye. And I didn't hook up with him like that. It was just like not all that.
Yeah.
Not like that. But so I decided to go out with him because I didn't remember. I had a couple of drinks, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And when he stayed on the curb to give me a hug goodbye, I was like, I got.
It's like giving your son.
Yeah, I was like, okay, bye. See you never. Literally, see you never. And I never responded to him ever again.
Dang.
Because I was just like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard similar situations or you know, they want to feel like he's the man, you know, like, and they feel like that when the guy is bigger, obviously bigger than them, and they'll feel like protected by them and things like that. So
Also heels.
yeah. So short kings, stay up.
Short kings is no for me, love.
But I'm sure you'll find somebody out there.
But honestly, too, like, I don't think that I require that much height, to be honest with you. Like, I'm 5'3". I think 5'9" is good.
Yeah. No, you're going over 6.
I need over 6. I mean, well, yeah, but dude, where the fuck are the tall men at? They need to be corn fed out here, because they're eating chicken nuggets and they're like 5'6".
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to meet really tall guys here, but my friend just went to Nashville and she's like, oh, girl, all the corn fed big boys are over there. I was like, oh.
I don't know what they're feeding the kids in Idaho, but right now they're all coming out massive. Like my little brother, he's 21. He just turned 21, 6'1". And all his like buddies are like,
y'all got non-GMO food over there probably or some.
And his friend, I'm like, these are your like people in your same class. I was like, I don't know what they're putting in the water, but like these kids are massive.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's hard to meet guys that are tall. So I feel for girls that are like 5'6", 5'7", because I don't even feel like that's tall.
Yeah.
But you know, some girls are 5'6", 5'7". A lot of my friends are 5'6", 5'7", and I'm like, damn, like, how do y'all do it?
Sorry, short kings.
Sorry.
Let's see. All right, so how long should intimacy last?
You mean like the actual act?
Yeah, because there's the premature guys. There's the how long do you think
first
is a
of
good
all,
help? There's the 3-hour guys. There's,
oh God, no! I'm going to sleep. I cannot. Nah, nobody got. I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh Lord, no. But I think it depends, no? Like, I think it depends. Like, obviously, there's those times where you're like fucking bend over in the bathroom really quick, you know, like a couple seconds, let's get it in and get out, you know? But I guess if you're like actually engaging in the act, let's say it's at nighttime or whatever, I would say that anything longer than like 20 minutes is too long.
Yeah.
It's too long. It's like, it's just too long. It's a long time to be like switching 20 different, like you could do like 30 positions in 20 minutes, you know, like it's a long time. Yeah. I think it's better. I think the best, most optimal time, it's probably like 10 minutes and then like maybe take a nap and then you could do it again.
That's what I say all the time.
Yeah, like there's no necessity to be going for 7 hours like jackrabbits. That's insane.
Yeah, there's this.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's healthy for like 15, 20, 25 minutes. And if you want, you can go multiple times.
But go to take a nap, stop. And sometimes when you do that too, I feel like you get more turned on. Like the fact that you just did it and then you're like just chilling, but you're still kind of like physical touch, you know, and then you're kind of like, all right, let's do it again. You know, like.
And then you start talking about like what you were doing, and then all of a sudden you start getting turned on again.
And you could do it again. You could do that like 2 or 3 times in a day, in a night, or whatever, and that's fucking amazing. But to be just going at it for 3 hours or 2 hours, an hour, 45 minutes, that's too long.
Yeah, that's way too long. You can only go once. You know what I mean? Like I would be like, yeah.
At that point, you're just on autopilot for fun.
Yeah.
And what's the point of that?
Yeah.
I don't want to be on autopilot. I want to actually feel it. I feel like also too, if it's too long, you don't feel the same heat. It just kind of like just doing it.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
No, I totally agree with you. All right. So, the next question that I have here is where do you find good men at?
I get this question all the time. And I feel like it's all relative. I feel like you could find a good man anywhere. It's a matter of just putting yourself out there, not necessarily putting yourself out there like you're pursuing, but just going outside. And also too, I feel like you have to be in a place where you're gonna attract, you know, so that means that you have to be feeling good about yourself, that you're not out there like looking, that you're just out to live and enjoy your life. And I feel like that's when you attract the most. But you have to go outside. And I think you could find a good person anywhere, because look at me. I go to festivals, I go to bars, I also go to Walmart, I also go to Target, like I also go get tattoos. I'm everywhere. I'm at the beach, I'm at church, I'm everywhere. And I feel like I'm a good person. I feel like my intentions are pure. I feel like I would be a catch for anybody. So there has to be somebody out there who's doing the same thing, who wants to go outside to decompress, who goes at a club. Like I don't have nothing against meeting a guy at a club, a bar, anywhere, just not a strip club. Like I don't want to meet a guy at a strip club, because then that's already telling me that you need that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's going to be who you are, even in a relationship. And I'm good on that. But like, I feel like you could meet a good person anywhere. We're all human, right? You like to listen to music. You like to dance. Why are you not allowed to decompress?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just a matter of the position that you put yourself in your mind, and if you're ready to receive and attract the right things. And I think that you glow too. Like that's one of my favorite compliments ever. It's like, oh, you're like so glowy all the time, or like you just look so happy. Or like, it's one of the best compliments, because that's what attracts people to you. Not necessarily that you're out looking. I remember when I first got single and I left my kid's dad. I remember that I was like ready to date, right? Like I was so ready. Like I cannot wait to meet a new guy, because I was so over not getting any attention, essentially. And I was like fucking binoculars everywhere, you know? And I was just sitting down trying to be pretty, you know, like trying to be cute and like everywhere, right? And that got me fucking nowhere. I attracted not a thing. Yeah, guys would look but not approach, you know? And the second that I was like, man, fuck this. I'm just going outside to live my life and have fun like this.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, and I agree, because I always, and especially the whole bar thing, you opened my eyes to that, because I would always say, no, you're not going to fight people at bar. But the last time we had a podcast, you know, you talked about that, and I was like, she's right. You know, like she's right about that. And I always say now is that anywhere you can find good guys, you can also find bad guys.
Yes. I think you just have to use your discernment.
That, and like know your boundaries, like know your boundaries, what your red flags are. Like if he does something that you're like kind of weirded out about it, trust your gut feeling, you know. But just like you said, you can meet guys, you can meet good guys on social media, and you can also meet bad guys. Like it just happens. Using
your best judgment and discernment. Like obviously you're not going to meet the guy at the bar that's being belligerent and ordering drinks disrespectfully. Obviously that's somebody that you probably should like stay away from. But what about the guy that's just chilling with his friends that look like they just got off work or something like that, and they're trying to decompress or whatever?
Yeah, and I mean, even there's bad people who go to church too.
There is. I knew somebody really close to me who actually were married, and we thought that they had like the most perfect life, and it turns out that the entire time he was having an affair with like one of the ushers at church, or another woman, and he was beating his wife at home. And we didn't know, because she was always bien maquillada, really pretty, just to the nines, you know. She always looked very a well-kept woman. And it turned out that she was that well-kept because she had to learn to properly take care of herself, because he was beating the shit out of her.
Dang.
And then but he was somebody who served in the church.
Yeah.
So there's good and bad people everywhere.
Yeah. So just keep your guard up. Boundaries.
Boundaries. Just learn to notice little things that can be big things.
Yeah, because they'll turn into big things.
They will immediately turn into big things.
It's funny because like some people in the beginning will be blind to like little red flags because they're just like, oh well, he's like,
they're not blind, they see them,
but they like,
just
it's not that bad,
diminish them. Yeah.
But then later on, that same red flag that you noticed a long time ago, now it's not cute, you know, like especially like jealousy. Oh, he got jealous. No, like later on, oh, like this guy's super jealous, like
controlling. Then it becomes controlling.
Yeah.
Then it's like you can't wear this when you go out, then you can't even see your friends. It's those little tiny things. I promise you guys, the more you pay attention to the little things, you will start to see how much they really do matter later.
Yeah, I remember, my ex, she would dress however she wanted. And my buddy was like, you let her go out like that? Like with her friends? I'm like, yeah. I was like, she's going to hang out with friends. If that's what's going to make her feel sexy and confident, then cool.
This is a great example that you actually bring that up, because in my marriage, my ex was not okay with me wearing anything. If I didn't look like shit, essentially, then he wasn't comfortable.
All covered up.
You know? Or just shitty, like I didn't comb my hair, like, you know, all run down or whatever, like he wasn't comfortable. If I did my makeup more than 2 times a week, it was like a question, right? But then I dated somebody that I was in a relationship with for a year, and it was the opposite. He was very much so like, from the second I met him, very much like, oh, what are you gonna wear? And like recording me and taking pictures of me and all this stuff and sharing it on his socials, like, damn, you look good or whatever, like all the time. And it's crazy that to experience that night and day, because somebody will tell you who they are off the bat. You know, my ex was very much like, if I got ready, no compliment. Why? Because he didn't want me to feel good about myself. But then I met my ex-boyfriend or whatever, and if I got ready, or when I was if I didn't get ready, it was like, why didn't you get ready, chula? Like, or why didn't you do your hair like this? I like when you do your hair like that. Or, you know, so you can automatically see, again, those little things are very telling of how they're going to be. Yeah.
No, so I like a girl that's, whatever is going to make her feel sexy and confident, you do that. Like, because I need you to be sexy and confident.
Yeah.
Nothing less.
And I think it's a huge reflection of you too.
Yeah. Like I'm like, if you know somebody is with you, like, why are you like, where do the insecurities come from? Like, you know, like, I know she's gonna go hang out with, I know how guys are. They're probably gonna flirt with her. They're probably gonna be like, hey, like, let me get you. But I know she's with me, so she's gonna be like,
and
sorry.
You know that you're taking care of her.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, sorry, like, I'm with somebody, or I know that. If I was out doing shady stuff, probably I'd feel the other way. But I wasn't out doing shady stuff, so there was no reason for that. So, ladies, just letting you know.
Yeah.
All right. What is an ick for you a guy can do on a date?
There's a lot. I'm like, oh.
It's like, what's the last one that happened to you?
Okay, the last one that happened to me was the date that I went on. He said, okay, obviously I'm on social media, right? And most of the guys that I date are actually not on social media. So they're people that I met like outside, and most of them have been grown men, like 38 plus. So they don't really have like social media. Different era, you know? I think our generation started with the social media, like, you know, ours.
Yeah, the internet.
Yeah, essentially. But anybody that's I've dated has been like 38, 39, 40, etc. So they're not really like on it. But this guy was, and he said something to me like, just thinking about it gives me the ick. He said like, oh, because you're Miss Famous. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, you're like, that's it.
Even to you, if I imagine I go like on a date with you or somebody, and I'm like, because you have a social media following, I'm like, oh, Mr. Famous. Yeah. And, like, wouldn't you be like, this bitch, like, shut the fuck up, you know? Like, I don't know, like, it just like rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I was like, why say that, you know? Like, or why bring that up? Another thing that bugs me is, or that gives me the ick, is if a man inquires too much about what I do for work, because I feel like that shouldn't matter to you in the first date. Like, what do you care what I do? Like, I feel like a guy should enjoy your energy, your company, your presence, your femininity, your all of that. Not be like, so what do you do for work, and what does that mean? And, you know, like, it's just, that's so icky to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what would be another thing. I'm trying to give you 3, like my top 3.
Okay.
If they order before me. Yeah. That'll bug me.
Yeah, manners. Like,
Yeah.
There's some like, girls let guys get away with a lot of stuff. Like, I've seen like a lot of guys just not open doors for girls. Like, let them order first. Like, even go pick them up. They usually meet somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a safety thing.
That's
I feel
a
like.
safety thing.
But not after like the first couple dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and the biggest thing, I know we did that other video, but I've never in my life split a bill with a girl.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I remember the last time I came here, I actually like went on a date with a girl, and it came out, it was kind of pricey, like whatever, like we were having fun. And then she was like, oh, I'll do half. I was like, no. Like, what the hell? And she's like, no, it's a lot. I was like, no. And like, she's like, no. And I paid the whole thing. I was like, that's not how it works. Like I don't care. Even if you invited me to go and do something with you, like, I still feel like I gotta pay.
Yeah, because you're the man.
Exactly. And but there's those guys who are just like, oh, you want to split the bill? Like,
Oh my God, I have a story about that. Not my own, but it's a great story. But before I tell you, there's a guy that I date currently, and he's a grown man. And you know what's very attractive? This is a tip for any guys that watch this, that I love that he does when we go out to eat, is he asks me what I'm gonna get, right? Like, he's like, oh, what are you gonna get, or whatever. And I'll tell him like, oh, I think I'm gonna get this. I want fries. I was like, I don't know if I want, you know, this appetizer, whatever. And I love that he does this. The waiter or waitress will come, and he orders for me what I've already told him. So he's like, she's gonna get the burger and then, or whatever, and he'll be like, how do you want it? So he's addressing me, and I'll be like, oh, I want it well done. And he tells the waiter, like, get it for her well done. And she also wanted the fries and the Brussels sprouts. And he'll order like everything that I mentioned, and then he'll place his order. And I find that to be so attractive because I feel like it's so manly. Like, he took control of the table, but he still asked me what I wanted, and then he ordered it for me. And like, he'll order my drink, and then if my drink is running out or like I'm halfway, he's like, bring her another one. Even if I'm not gonna drink it, he'll still be like, bring her another one. And I love that. I find that so attractive. Tell me that's not hot.
yeah, and I have to gauge when you do that, because there's actually some girls that don't like that. They're
but I feel like those are the women that are still very much in their masculine energy, that are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That are like very girl power to the grave.
Yeah, because I've done it a few times, but I've never gotten like backlash from it or anything like that. But that's a good tip. Now everybody's like, I'm just gonna order.
Oh, that's my favorite. And every time he does it, I'm like, oh my gosh! It just, I just find it so like, so dominant of his presence and his manhood, and like, so it's so attractive to me, because in privacy he's asking me like, oh chula, what do you want, you know, ¿qué quieres hermosa, lo que sea. He's asking me like, ¿qué quieres? And then I'll tell him like, oh, I want this, I want that, and he's like, okay. And when the waiter comes, immediately he's like, okay, she'll have this and that, and bring her a drink. What do you want? And I'll be like, oh, I don't want a drink. And he's like, okay, not yet. Come back and ask us if she wants a drink again, you know, or whatever. And he's very like, he takes control of the situation, and I find that so attractive.
Yeah, that I do agree. Girls do like it when a guy is like, not controlling in a bad way, but like the dominant one, you know, like for example, I went on a date with a girl. I had told her, hey, I'm gonna be here. I made the reservations and everything, and she's like, oh, so what are we gonna do? And I was like, oh, don't worry. I was like, I got reservations over here, like we gotta be there at this time and so on. And she was like, oh, okay, you know, like kind of like, that doesn't happen too often. And like, it kind of shows you where some of these guys set the bar. Like they set it pretty low. Like, it just took a little bit.
A lot of girls have accepted a lot of treatment below.
Yeah, like it just took a little bit out of my day to look to see what restaurant I'd go to. I'd be like, all right, I want to go to that one. Let me call, make a reservation. Cool. Gave them my name and number, and they're like, be here at this time. And that literally took 5 minutes. But then that she's gonna see you completely different after that. Like she's like, oh shit, like okay.
It's true, dude. It's so true. So tip for you guys. I don't know how many. I know you have a small percentage of guys.
It's actually
that
a lot
watch.
more, which is starting to grow. And it's, I like it because it's like the positive guys, not like, hey, like the shit.
Yeah, like the Andrew Tates of the world.
And they're like, oh, hey, I love like the things you do because it's actually true, or like the things you talk about because, you know, kind of like them. Like I feel like that's
Positive reinforcement.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a good positive community for men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a big tip, guys. That's a big one. If you guys really want to woo a girl, I think that's a really attractive thing.
And just doing little things for like, there's like I sent a girl a postcard one time, which is what I went to go return something for Amazon. And since I was there, I was like, let me send her something real quick. Just wrote something on a postcard real quick, sent it to her. And I'm sure she enjoyed that, you know.
Yes, those little things matter. Dude, do you know that there's guys that still don't know the sidewalk rule?
Oh, when you're supposed to walk on the side of the
Bro,
street. Yeah.
there's still men. I've gone out on dates with men that don't do the sidewalk rule.
Or
And I'm just like, how do you not do the sidewalk rule?
or when they have you seen the guys, even when they're in a relationship already,
That walk
they're
ahead?
far ahead, and the girl's just like, I'm like, your girl's back there, like.
I cannot.
One time I made a smirky little comment. I was like, you better be careful because like I'll take her. Like
Yes, I can't. I just don't get it. How guys don't know the sidewalk rule.
I walk fast, but I know.
Like you're pulling her, like vente.
No, like I know, like when I'm walking with somebody, and if I'm into them, I'm gonna be next to you. You know?
Yes.
Also the sidewalk rule. If or like I usually, so they always like wolves. They're usually in the back. Like the alpha is because he's making sure like everybody's like. It's not always the first guy.
Okay, that's another thing that I find super attractive is, or with that guy that I date casually, that he definitely makes it a point whenever we go eat somewhere, he sits facing the door or facing the crowd, and my back is to everybody. And I love that because it just makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like he's in control. He's observing everything that's going on while we're in conversation, and I just get to just be.
Yeah.
You know? And very much so, again, the sidewalk rule, very, very cavalier, very like, hey, con permiso, and like move me to the inside or whatever.
Yeah.
But guys don't know that, dude. And there's guys that don't care if like their back is to the door. And I'm just like, what? Even I teach my sons, like, no, you guys need to be on this side. You guys are the boys or whatever, you know, or you guys need to, your sister goes on the inside, you guys on the outside. Even my sons are little. Like,
Yeah.
Where was your mama?
You gotta teach them young.
For real.
All right, so let me see. The next one is, what are your thoughts on people checking their partner's phones as tests?
As tests?
So some people, what they'll do is like, let me go through your phone and see what their partner says. Because they want to see, they think, oh, here's my phone, but they won't check it. They think that's loyal. They're loyal because of that. Me, what I say is like, if you ask me to check my phone, it's because either I did something or like you don't trust me. So now I see it differently. You know what I mean? Like, it's not more like, I know I'm loyal, but why are you asking me to check my phone? Like, did somebody tell you something? Did somebody like assume something, or do you just not trust me? You know what I mean? But some people do that as a test, just like, hey, let me look at your phone. And if they just give them the phone, I guess they pass the test. But I feel like that does a lot more harm than actually help. It probably brings you peace of mind. But now, what about the person that you asked them to check their phone?
Low-key, that made me uncomfortable.
Right?
Yeah, low-key, I feel like, let me adjust my leg. I feel like that makes me feel like, wait, what did I do for you not to trust me?
Exactly.
Like, what did I do, especially in a relationship? Like, now at this point, we're not dating anymore. Now we're in a relationship, right? And it's like, wait, what did I do to prompt you to ask me to use my phone? Like, yeah, I could let you go through it, but what was the reason?
Exactly.
And that makes me feel like where is this coming from?
Yeah, I had a girl ask me to check my phone one time, and I was like, why? Like, what happened? And I was like, did somebody tell you something? Do you think I did something? And I know I didn't do anything, but I just out of nowhere. And she was like, oh, I was just trying to test you, see if you would give me my phone, or give her my phone. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, you can look through my phone. I was like, but this is not going to be the same anymore, because now
I got questions.
Yeah, now I got, like, why? Yeah, you can say that it was a test, but how do I know somebody else didn't feed you something? Because there's always people out here trying to start rumors, trying to, like, break people up. And it just, to me, it felt like it changed the relationship. Like,
changes the dynamic.
Yeah, like, now I did everything I could to have you trust me, but then out of nowhere, you're just like, let me check your phone.
And it's like, at what point do you have some form of sincere maturity? Like, why the necessity to test your partner?
Yeah.
Like, why the necessity to kind of hold something over them just to see what they would do?
Yeah.
At that point, you're playing with your relationship. You're not actually respecting your relationship, because you're trying to find reasons. And then for what? To spark an argument? What the fuck is the point of that?
That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be mad.
And I get it. If you want to question me if I did do something,
yes,
I totally understand.
Like, if I was talking to you and you came in the room and I was like,
yeah,
then I would be like,
what was that?
Who were you on your phone with?
Yeah.
You know, like, who were you talking to that you needed to do that? So that's questionable.
Yeah.
But if they're just like, hey, let me go through your phone, the fuck?
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, instantly, I'm like, what? Well, did somebody tell you?
I'm immediately going to tell you no, first of all. And then second of all, I'm going to ask you, like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I said, that completely, to me, if you tell me that for no reason, it completely changes everything. I stopped talking to her. Like, that, I just felt different.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm like,
keep the crazy to yourself, girl.
Go check somebody else's phone.
Okay.
Do you think situationships can eventually lead to a relationship?
I hate this question.
I always say it's more there's a higher chance it's not.
It's not. It's not. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You're a situationship for a reason. You're hoping for something. You're romanticizing.
Yeah, and sometimes they do give you the relationship just so you don't leave. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean,
as a placeholder.
Yeah. But then the moment they find somebody else, they're just gonna leave. You know, so and it's always excuses, like not mentally ready, don't really want to put a title on it, or I'm not into titles. That's another one. Working on my mental health.
Girls, if you don't want to get stuck in situationships, stop making yourself too available to men.
Yeah.
Stop being so desperate, because that's how you end up in situationships. You end up accepting those things because you so desperately want some form of contact or connection with somebody, and then you get your feelings hurt.
And I always say, like, if they give you any of those excuses, let them go figure it out on their own, and then you find somebody that wants to be with you.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I don't think that a situationship could ever lead to a solid relationship, because it already had a rocky foundation to begin with. And that's the standard that you guys set from the beginning.
Yeah.
That very rocky, finicky foundation with no titles, no boundaries, no really lines. So everything's blurred.
Yeah.
Anything in blurred vision is already going to fail. Even if you guys decide to start a relationship, it's going to take a lot of communication and like a reset. It's hard to reset with somebody that you already know.
Yeah, and they like when you're just a placeholder like that, if you catch them with anybody else, you guys are not in a relationship, so you can't get mad.
Dude, I don't do situationships. I can't.
Yeah, no.
I can't. And I'm too sensitive. I'll cry. For real.
We don't want you to cry.
I would cry, for real. I'll cry. I'll cry. I'd be like,
why?
Yeah. When it was my fault, por pendeja. No, hombre.
All right, so this is actually one that I really wanted to ask. Do you need to be attracted to the person that you are with?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. I have to.
There's those, I get it all the time, is like, what if you're not attracted to them? Do you think that, like, you will build that attraction to them?
How did you even start dating?
Exactly. Like, if I see a girl, like, I tell them, think about it. If I see a girl and I'm attracted to her, I'm gonna go to try to talk to her. If I see a girl I'm not attracted to, I'm not gonna go and try to talk to her.
You're not. I feel like the only place where you can establish a relationship or an attraction with somebody is in situations where, like, let's say you have a friend group and there's always somebody that's around, and maybe you weren't initially attracted to them, but as you got to know them, you're attracted to them. I feel like that's the only scenario.
But there's still some sort of
then you've already built an attraction.
Yeah.
So how could you just be with somebody that you're not attracted to at all? I feel like that's impossible. I can't.
Yeah.
The first thing is attraction.
You have to be attracted to him in some sort of way. Like, even if it's just like a little bit, like you're like, oh, well, he's kind of cute, you know, and then see where it goes from there. And then just maybe based on his person, you find him a lot more attractive because he's like, oh, he does this, he does that. But in the beginning, you have to be attracted to him.
How do you start a relationship with somebody that you're not attracted to?
Imagine just seeing hey, what's up? You want to?
It's like, yeah, I just pick up the guy in the corner. I'm like, hey, what's up? You want to hang out? Like,
you want to try to do this? See where it goes?
Yeah, let's see what happens. Fuck it. Yeah, I don't know. You definitely need attraction. We all know that beauty fades and all that, but that's why you need that initial attraction, initial like.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Just because, like, I get attracted to girls' smiles. Like, that's the first thing that I notice. Is their smile.
Yeah.
And then from there, I'm just like, okay, like, let me try to talk to her, and that kind of like opens the door for me to go and talk to that person. If I see somebody that, oh, well, maybe she has a nice personality, I'm still gonna go talk to her. You know, like that's never happened. You're
not gonna go and talk to her. You're gonna be no. You see somebody and you're like, she looks like she has a pretty aura. The fuck?
Yeah,
no, nobody does that.
I actually missed this question, but how long do you think you should be dating somebody before you guys become like official boyfriend and girlfriend?
I think at minimum, now having experienced what I have experienced, at very minimum 3 months, but I think preferably like 6. Now that I know the things that I know, like. Yeah. I feel like 6 is a good time period, between 3 and 6, to see again where somebody's actual headspace is, because everybody can be what I like to call a Picasso. Paint you a real pretty picture. Oh, yeah. And it's only a matter of time before that picture starts to reveal itself.
Yeah, you start seeing. Yeah, because I always say, 6 months to a year, because during that time, you should know if you want to be with this person or not. And if you've lasted 6 months, then I'm pretty sure you guys are doing well together.
Yeah.
But you also have to live with this person through like the different seasons, and also how did he react? Like, what does your first fight look like? It's not going to be as bad. How's the second fight? Yeah, how is he when he gets mad? How is he like when he gets in a funk? Like, is he just like real like push off or like don't fucking bug me, you know, like, and things like that. You don't know that because during that honeymoon phase, everything's gonna be great. If something bugs you, it's just gonna be like, hey babe, I really didn't like that you did this. Later on, it could be like, yo, like I didn't fucking like that, you know, and like it can go to a whole different level.
I think too, the maturity level that you're at too, like where you are in age, I think, and in wisdom, I think that matters a little bit too, because I think waiting a year when you're 36, 35 is like kind of like, well, shit, you should kind of know, you know, you should kind of have some discernment at that point. But I guess maybe like when you're still in your 20s, give it a little bit more time. Yeah,
just because they're still young too. And I always get that too. So here's another question is, would you ever date somebody who's younger than you?
I have.
In their 20s?
I have, yes.
And how was that?
It was good, but I think that it's because it depends what level you're at in your 20s, you know? The guy too that I had went on a date with recently, he was like 2 years younger than I am, I think. But he's a dad. He has a career. He has his own place. So I think it depends on where you are in life too, that like factors in to your age as well. You know, it's not just your age. But I'm not opposed to like dating somebody younger. It just, you have to have
that, and like you said, exactly like how they are like maturity wise, because I did go on a date too with a girl that was younger.
How much younger?
She was 22.
Oh hell no.
No, but it's because, let's just say, like, I didn't know her actual age. I thought she was like 24 or 25.
Okay.
And I come to find out she was only 22.
I would never date a 22-year-old guy.
No, so after that, I was like, yeah, this is why I don't do this. Because the conversation instantly like felt like this is a little girl, you know, like
It's different.
yeah, I was like, this is not, I don't like this conversation. Like, it doesn't feel mature. It doesn't feel like she's experienced anything in life, you know, just all these things.
I can't even imagine talking to one. I'm like, oh my God.
And so after that, I was like, yeah, this is why, like, I don't do this. And so obviously that didn't work out because just that maturity level of the conversation. And that's what I tell people is like, how were you at that age? Like,
yes.
Just think about it. Like, were you out wild and like having fun? Okay, what makes you think this person's not doing that? You know, but if they're doing that, let them do that. Like, you remember like when you were that age, you don't want them to do it like when they're in their 30s and 40s, and you know. So I'm just like, how were you at that age? And think about it.
Okay, 22, bro. I literally want to throw this fucking water bottle at you.
It was just.
You were just testing the water as well.
But yeah, no, never again.
Yeah, no, hell no.
No, I think
no.
whoever I talk to has to be at least in their 30s.
Yeah, for me too.
Yeah.
30.
But I also say don't put an age, like, because what if somebody comes along and is like 26?
29.
Yeah, or 26.
No,
20,
26 is too young.
No, but you never know. Like, what if he's like
26.
amazing? That's what you say right now, but he comes being amazing, like all this, he checks off all the boxes. You'd probably be like, we'll see where it goes.
No, I couldn't. You know why too? Because I think about myself and I think about like my vanity too. Like I don't want to be with a guy who looks so much younger than me.
That's
you
true
know?
too.
Like I want to look like I'm with a man who looks like a man, at least in their 30s. You know, that looks like we look comparable, not like this old bitch with this fucking 26-year-old guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like nah. And I don't want no man to look younger than me. Like I like my man to look rugged.
Yeah,
you know,
no, that makes sense.
like he has some miles on him.
He's been through some things.
Yes.
All right, so 2 more questions for you.
Run it.
What are your thoughts? I already know the answer to this. What are your thoughts on a guy liking and following other girls on social media? But like, I know you don't like the guys, but if like for all these other women listening, is it okay for their guy to be doing things like that?
Okay, before I answer that, I'm gonna talk to the girls first. I'm gonna talk to the girls.
Okay.
I'm like, Mother Jacky's in the house. No, just kidding. Girls, I see so many women or young girls thirsty as can be on social media. And I feel like they need to be told, or they've never been told, how unattractive that is and how embarrassing it is to see women thirsting over men in that aspect, and seeing women be like, oh my God, I was watering my garage, do that again. You know, like, it's one thing for you to look or to find something appealing. It's another for you to leave these embarrassing comments all over the internet, because you can't erase those. And if ever you were to meet your person or find your guy or whatever, and he sees that you left that comment, you never know what somebody could come across on social media.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Embarrassing for your man, your future man. Think about your future and what your potential is out there, you know? And like, let's say you meet the man of your dreams, for example. And this applies to men too, but I want to talk to the girls because obviously there's girls on here.
Yeah.
You meet the man of your dreams, and then he sees that you've liked this guy that doesn't even look like him, all his photos. He just came across this guy, or he went to your following and saw that you followed this guy and you liked all his photos, and they don't even look the same. Imagine you've already created this insecurity in somebody that is like your dream person just by the actions that you took that you can't erase on social media. You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like all those things matter. People think that they don't matter, but they do. So I just wanted to talk to the girls for a second, because I hate to see it. Like, I hate to see girls following hella guys because they're attractive, and I hate to see men following hella girls because they're attractive. You know, I'm very much more so like, you should follow people on social media that align with you or that give you advice, you know, like positive things. Like, I follow guys too. I follow you, obviously.
Yeah.
I follow Andy Frisilla. I follow guys that talk about things that matter, not just because I'm like, oh my God, he's so fucking fine.
Follow.
You know? Yeah, like, no, never. I don't even follow guys that are interested in me, because I'm not going to follow you. It's a stamp that maybe my future husband could see, and he's like, why the fuck does she follow 30 guys, you know? Hell no, I'm good. Now, as far as my man, liking girls' pictures, commenting, following all types of girls, it's a no for me, love. It's just an automatic no. There's so many guys in my DMs all the time. And it's crazy, even though my platform is 93% women, that's my analytics, 7% men, there's still so many guys in my DMs. And sometimes out of curiosity, not because I'm attracted to them, I just go to these men's profiles and I will tell you guys that 98% of them will fail the test off the bat because I go to who you're following and I see that you follow a bunch of girls. That automatically cancels you out because number one, I already know this is going to be a problem if we start dating. Because it's going to bug me that you follow all of these girls. Because what the fuck for? Where's your self-control?
Yeah.
Where's your discipline? Where's your head at? That tells me a lot, in my opinion. So 98% of them would fail off the bat. And then if I know that you're following all these girls, then what? In the relationship, you're going to be liking a picture? A like is not just a like. Some guys try to get attention that way. Or they'll go and like multiple pictures of a girl because you can see when somebody liked multiple pictures. It's not just that simple.
Or a quick reaction to their story. It all starts somewhere.
It literally does. It literally does. That's why I prefer to date actually guys that are not on social media now.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that. All right, so last one, which is kind of funny. Well, to me.
I know. Don't be fucking making a fool out of me right here laughing at me.
Not at all. Does a man have to be well groomed down there?
What do you mean by well groomed?
Like either trimmed up or like shaved.
Yes, trimmed up at the very least.
Yeah, because
ain't no way you're gonna have fucking Bob Marley down there. Like what?
Trying to search for it.
Yeah, like where is it? Where are you? Peekaboo, you know, like no. Well, even for a girl too.
Yeah, I always say the same thing because I actually got this question not too long ago. I always say that they have to be at least trimmed up, or because they asked me, do I prefer wax or trimmed up? And I'm like either or. As long as we don't have like a jungle going on down there, like I'm good. Like as long as it's well maintained, clean.
And like I just think about it this way too, like do you want to okay, has this ever happened to you when you're like eating food and let's say like accidentally like one of your hairs fell in it or something and like you get it on your tongue? It's kind of hard to get it out of your mouth, like your hair, like your beard hair, for example. Because I'm sure your beard hair comes off sometimes in your food or whatever, and you're like fuck, and now it's like stuck at the back of your throat and you're trying to get it out. Imagine somebody's ball hair. Oh no, I can't.
Imagine the girl, like it gets on.
Yeah, like it's stuck in there. Like she's permanently flossing her teeth with that shit. Oh no. Or for a girl too, like if you're not fully clean down there like that, like cleaned up, and the hair gets stuck in his throat or some shit. Like, and you're like like trying to get it out. You know what I mean? You know when you've been eating food and like you have a beard. I know for sure beard hair because my ex-husband had a big beard and his beard would get in his food sometimes, and like it's annoying. He'd be like trying to get it off and you can't. Yeah.
And then you do that whole spitting.
Yeah, you're like trying to get. Yeah. So imagine somebody's pube.
Hold on.
Yeah, you're like, like it's hot. You're like trying to fucking gargle it out of your throat. Oh no.
That would just kill the mood instantly.
No, of course. You need to be cleaned up.
But anyways, those are all the questions I want to ask you. Thank you for doing this stuff. Obviously, like I got to know you through TikTok, and I appreciated you even actually responding and wanting to do the podcast and all this stuff. And she's amazing too. She looks even better in person too. So, she looks amazing in person. So if you haven't seen her in person. But anyways, thank you again for doing this.
Thank you.
Really truly appreciate it. And I'm sure the ladies are going to love it too. So
thank you guys for watching. And I hope this time you guys have the best audio because now it's in person. So now it's hopefully the best audio.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah, I gotta keep it trendy on my soul. I'm the most selfish person that I know. Here we go, down the rabbit hole. Got a couple carrots around my neck. Self-respect, when you out of line, you put your